Two brothers grew up in the same house, shared the same roof, had access to identical opportunities, and even chose similar careers, earning almost identical salaries throughout their working lives. Yet, at age 65, their realities couldn't look more different. One brother retired with $1.55 million in purified, halal investments, a completely paid-off house, and total financial freedom. His heart is at peace. He regularly travels for Hajj, distributes generous sadaqah to his community, helps his grandchildren build their futures, and never has to look at the right side of a restaurant menu. The other brother reached 65 with just $195,000 in savings, an interest-bearing mortgage with 14 long years remaining, and constant, grinding anxiety. Due to the lack of barakah in his wealth and the perpetual weight of interest, he works part-time at a hardware store because his basic income simply isn't enough. He lies awake at night, calculating whether he can afford his daily medications or if his property taxes will wipe him out. Identical genes, identical upbringing, identical income, yet radically different lives. And this divergence didn't happen in their 20s, when both were too young and too broke to make meaningful progress. It didn't happen in their 30s, when both were building families and careers with almost identical approaches. And it didn't happen in their 50s, when their financial trajectory was already locked in. The split happened entirely in their 40s. One brother made a series of decisions during that decade that seemed minor at the time. The other brother made different choices, which also felt harmless. Neither realized they were drafting the blueprint for the rest of their lives on this earth. Your 40s are the most consequential financial decade you will ever experience. Not because the decisions are harder, but because the stakes multiply in ways you won't even notice until it's too late. My name is Adam, and today, I am going to show you exactly why your 40s carry this heavy importance, the specific decisions that separate a blessed retirement from a lifetime of debt-driven anxiety, and what you can do right now, regardless of your current age, to secure true financial freedom. Let me explain the mathematics and spiritual laws that make your 40s so disproportionately powerful. This decade sits at the intersection of three forces that do not align at any other point in your life. The first force is peak earning power. Statistics show that for most professionals, income reaches its absolute peak between 42 and 55. The raises that felt massive in your 30s begin to slow down, but the absolute dollars are higher than they've ever been. In Islamic finance, we look at this deeper. This peak income is not just your achievement, it is an Amanah, a trust from the Almighty. It is your ultimate test of wealth. Your 40s represent the years when you have the maximum raw material to build a secure future. A 45-year-old professional earning $135,000 has more financial leverage in absolute dollars than at any other point in their career. The second force is remaining halal compounding time. At 40, you still have 20 to 25 years of active life ahead. That is enough time for purified, interest-free capital to roughly quadruple when invested in halal ETFs, Sharia-compliant funds, or active partnerships. $1 invested in halal assets at 40 becomes approximately $4 by age 65. At 50, you only have 15 years left. That dollar becomes roughly $2.5. At 55, with only 10 years remaining, it becomes just $2. The multiplier of time drops off a cliff with each passing year. Your 40s represent the last golden window where compounding can bring immense barakah and growth to your wealth. $1 invested at 42 works dramatically harder than $1 invested at 52. The third force is expense stabilization. By your 40s, the chaotic growth of your expenses finally begins to level off. Your children are growing up, your basic housing is established, and your lifestyle needs are settled. This creates a potential margin that simply did not exist in your 30s, when every single expense category was growing simultaneously. The critical question is, does this margin flow into building your future and giving sadaqah, or is it swallowed by your nafs through Israf, wasteful spending to show off your status? When these three forces align, they create an era of incredible leverage. You have more income than ever, enough time for your investments to grow, and natural margin from stabilizing costs. The one who honors this Amanah builds lasting wealth. The one who surrenders to their ego faces mathematical constraints that no late-stage hustle can ever fix. Let's look at the hard numbers. Consider a believer who reaches age 40 with $110,000 in Sharia-compliant investments. They earn $125,000 a year and can comfortably save 15% of their income, which is $18,750 per year. If they consistently save that 15% from age 40 to 65, investing in halal portfolios returning a historical average of 8% annually, they will accumulate approximately $1.52 million by retirement. Free from interest-bearing by retirement, free from interest-bearing debts, they enter their golden years with peace of mind, fully capable of funding their Hajj, supporting their children, and serving the Ummah. What if, in their 40s, they slack off and save only 5%, and then suddenly panic at 50, raising their savings rate to 15%? They will end up with approximately $880,000. That is a massive loss of over $640,000 simply because they wasted 10 years of compounding. No amount of aggressive saving in your 50s can recover the lost leverage of your 40s. Now, consider a third scenario. This person reaches 40 with the same $110,000. But instead of saving, they slash their investments to a measly 2% of their income to fund lifestyle expansion. They upgrade the house, buy premium cars, and take lavish vacations to match their peers. At 50, reality hits. They panic and try to catch up, aggressively saving 20% of their income. Despite this extreme stress in their 50s, they will accumulate only about $660,000 by age 65. Their flashy 40s cost them a staggering $860,000 in lost wealth. A decade of indulgence created a financial gap that a decade of desperate correction simply could not close. Let's dissect the 5 traps of the Nafs and social pressure that derail professionals during this critical decade. The first is the housing upgrade and the Riba trap. Your 40s bring a powerful urge to upgrade your living situation. The kids are bigger, you've earned success, and you want a home that proves it. But upgrading from a modest, comfortable home worth $380,000 to a premium property worth $650,000 increases your monthly housing costs by $1,600 to $2,200. That money, if kept in halal investments over 25 years, would compound to between $1.0 million and $1.4 million. The house upgrade literally costs you over $1 million of future freedom. Furthermore, in the rush for prestige, people often lock themselves into massive, interest-bearing contracts, Riba, stripping all barakah from their households. The second is automotive Israf. In your 40s, the reliable family car is often traded for a luxury vehicle. A family running 2 premium SUVs worth $48,000 each, instead of 2 highly reliable vehicles worth $30,000 each, carries an extra $36,000 in auto debt, pays higher insurance, and faces expensive repairs. Over time, this status symbol costs between $220,000 and $450,000 in lost wealth. This is textbook Israf, extravagance approved by your ego, but condemned by wisdom. The third is false status in children's education. As kids reach high school, some parents take on massive loans exceeding $110,000 or drain their investment accounts to send their children to elite private universities just for the brand name. They bankrupt their own future for temporary prestige. But Islam teaches us moderation. Wise families have honest conversations with their children. They choose excellent state universities, apply for merit scholarships, and let their children contribute through work. Remember, leaving yourself financially vulnerable in old age is a far greater burden on your children than choosing a practical college. The fourth is career risk aversion. Your 40s are your final golden window for strategic risk to increase your halal provision, rizq. Shifting to a high-growth company, negotiating for senior roles, or launching a Sharia-compliant business can elevate your income by $35,000 to $45,000 annually. Many professionals in their 40s let fear paralyze them, clinging to their comfortable chairs. But by 50, age bias makes career pivots much harder. Wasting this 10-year growth window costs you $350,000 to $450,000 in extra earnings that could have built your legacy. The fifth is social lifestyle inflation. Your peers are renovating kitchens, buying vacation homes, and posting luxury travel online. Some families find the strength to practice contentment, maintaining the comfortable lifestyle they enjoyed in their 30s. Others inflate their expenses to match their social circle, turning every dollar of their peak earnings into visible consumerism. The long-term difference between these two paths exceeds $1.2 million. To see how these choices compound, let me tell you the story of Tariq and Yasmin, and Farouk and Layla. Tariq and Yasmin married in their late 20s. By 40, they had $210,000 in Sharia-compliant investments, a modest home worth $360,000 with $200,000 left on the mortgage, and 2 children aged 12 and 9. Their combined income was a healthy $185,000. Tariq pushed to upgrade to a $650,000 home in an elite development. Yasmin hesitated but eventually agreed. The upgrade increased their monthly expenses by $1,800. To afford it, they cut their halal investments from 15% to just 6%, promising themselves it was temporary. 2 years later, they upgraded to a premium SUV, adding $750 to their monthly bills. When their daughter got accepted into an out-of-state private university, they took on $110,000 of debt because they didn't want to hurt her social standing. They never felt financially irresponsible. Every decision felt normal. Yet by age 50, their investment account held only $275,000, scarcely any growth in 10 years. Realizing the danger, they aggressively cut back and maxed out their contributions for the next 15 years. By 65, they accumulated $780,000. It felt like a lot until they ran the numbers. Due to their lifestyle costs, their money would likely run out by age 82. They faced selling their beloved home, drastically cutting their standard of living, or working well into their 70s. Now look at Farouk and Layla. At 40, their numbers were almost identical. A combined income of $175,000, savings of $190,000, and 2 children. Farouk also wanted to upgrade to a larger house, but Layla stood her ground, reminding him of the mathematical impact on their future and their spiritual goals. They stayed in their $360,000 home. That monthly difference of $1,800 went directly into their halal investment accounts. When Farouk's car broke down, he bought a 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicle. When college approached, they sat down with their children and discussed real costs. Both kids attended local state universities on academic grants. During their 40s, Farouk and Layla sometimes felt like outsiders. Their lifestyle looked modest compared to their peers. But by 50, their investment account held $660,000. Their balance had more than tripled in 10 years thanks to consistency and the barakah of halal growth. By 65, Farouk and Layla accumulated $1.85 million. Their house was fully paid off without a penny of interest. They are completely free to travel for Hajj, support global charity projects, and enjoy absolute peace of mind. The difference was not earned by different salaries or superior investment tricks. It was earned by different decisions in their 40s. And here is the most striking truth. In their 40s, both families were equally happy. Research consistently proves that luxury upgrades offer only a temporary spike in happiness. Within 18 to 24 months, we adapt to the new normal. Tariq and Yasmin did not enjoy their 40s more than Farouk and Layla. They just spent more, permanently trading away their future freedom. Here is your direct guidance, depending on where you stand today. If you are in your 20s or 30s, you have the ultimate gift: foreknowledge. You now know that your 40s will bring immense pressure to inflate your lifestyle on the back of higher earnings. Build your fortress now. Automate your halal savings so you never touch them. Define your level of contentment before your income tempts you into excess. If you are entering your 40s, you are standing at the most critical financial intersection of your life. The decisions you make in the next 10 years will dictate your future. Audit every single expense category today. Is your house a home or a trophy? Is your car a tool or a status symbol? Are your finances clean of Riba? Remember, every yes to lifestyle expansion is a no to your family's future security. If you are in your late 40s and realize you are in the wrong story, you still have time to rewrite your ending. Every single percentage point you add to your halal savings rate today will improve your outcome. Consider radical options that your debt-ridden peers would never dream of. Downsize your housing now rather than waiting for retirement. Sell the luxury cars and take a higher-paying job even if it requires leaving your comfort zone. If you are past your 40s with inadequate savings, focus entirely on what remains under your control. Work as long as your health permits. Eliminate every single debt. Simplify your living situation and channel every available dollar into a halal cash cushion. Let's address the core of these choices, the psychological whisper of your nafs that says, "I've worked hard for 20 years, I deserve to enjoy my success now." But when does the lasting satisfaction actually arrive? This mindset is the trap. The pleasure you seek through status purchases is temporary, but the financial constraint is permanent. The upgraded house is exciting for 18 months, then it just becomes the place where you live, while your savings are permanently stunted. The luxury car gives a thrill for a year, then becomes just a car, while limiting your choices. True honor and peace do not come from consuming your peak earning years. They come from converting this Amanah into lasting freedom. The person who practices contentment in their 40s experiences genuine satisfaction every single day of their secure retirement. The person who inflated their lifestyle experiences genuine stress every single day of their older years. The discomfort of moderation in your 40s lasts 10 years. The reward lasts 30 years or more. The pleasure of indulgence in your 40s lasts 2 to 3 years. The consequence lasts a lifetime. Picture yourself at age 70. You are sitting on your porch on a quiet morning. In one version of this future, your heart is completely at peace. You do not owe a single cent to anyone. Your wealth is halal and pure. You are planning your next umrah, thinking about which charitable legacy to fund, and enjoying your tea, knowing that unexpected costs can never destabilize you. In the other version, you are sitting with a calculator, worried about whether your basic checks will cover your groceries and medicine this month. You fear every unexpected bill, worry about car repairs, and feel trapped in a cage of limited choices. Both versions of you are living out the consequences of your 40s. Your 40s will end. The decade will pass whether you make conscious, halal choices or let social currents drift you away. The only question is, which version of your 70-year-old self are you creating today? Your 40s will decide everything, and that is not a burden, it is your greatest opportunity. Use this Amanah wisely.